An hour before the start of the 2024 NBA Draft, Adrian Wojnarowski tweeted the biggest Woj bomb to happen to Wizards fans in a very, very long time. Deni Avdija was traded to the Portland Trail Blazers. As a Wizards fan, I was caught entirely off guard. So what I want to do in this video is, for those who felt similar to me, off guard, try to simplify this trade into reasons why Portland did what they did, why Washington did what they did, and just why this trade happened. By the way, my name is Tyler, aka Wanzo TV. I'm a big Wizards fan. I talk about the Wizards, so let's get going. To start, I want to provide a visual guide of what exactly was traded from Portland side and Washington side. So as you can see, the general trade was just Deni going from Washington to Portland, and then Portland sent over the 14th pick, which was Bub Carrington tonight, Malcolm Brogdon to match the salary, a 2029 first round pick, which is the second most favorable, which I'll get into later, and then 2 second round picks. To start, I just want to talk about how Portland came out of this before I talk about how Washington came out of it. Now, if you're a Portland fan, you should be jumping through the ceiling. This was a fantastic trade for you. For those who aren't familiar with Deni Avdija's game, Deni Avdija is a menace in transition. He's a fantastic finisher around the rim, which was a major development from his rookie years to what he is now. He's become a 40% shooter from 3. He's always been a fantastic defender. Deni is the premier role player that you would need in the NBA. And what you had to give up for Deni Avdija was, from outside looking in, was not a whole lot. You gave up one of your 2 first round picks that you had in the 2024 NBA draft, which you held on to the 7th pick, drafted Donovan Clingan, and you traded away the 14th pick, which is the worst of the 2. Then on top of that, you gave away only 1 of your 2029 first round picks. You have 3 of them, and you gave it away the second most favorable, which means if you're a Washington Wizards fan, the way that'll work is it's between the Bucks, the Celtics, and the Blazers. Whoever has the second worst or best record, which is either or because it's in the middle, that's the pick you're going to get. For example, if the Bucks are really, really bad in 2029 and they have the 1st overall pick, the Celtics are mid and they have the 15th overall pick, and the Blazers are winning championships, they have the 30th overall pick, the Wizards will get the 15th overall pick, which doesn't hurt as bad because you would still get the 1st overall pick. Also, the only player movement in the deal for Portland was moving off Malcolm Brogdon. I can kind of get, you could say, oh, you traded Damian Lillard for Drew Holiday, then you traded Drew Holiday for Malcolm Brogdon, so that you could kind of make the case that that's squandering of assets, but I don't think the Malcolm Brogdon market was super hot, so you got off his money, and you got a good young player, so that's a win for Portland. Then as well as that, you gave 2 second round picks that are also 4 or 5 years out. So if you're a Portland Trail Blazers fan, you should be ecstatic. You got one of the premier role players in the league who has maybe even a chance now in Portland to extend beyond that role player tag, and you got him for not giving up much. You kept your pick this year. You kept your pick you kept 2 picks in 2029. You gave up 2 worthless seconds in 5 years down the line. You gave up Malcolm Brogdon. This was a great trade for the Portland Trail Blazers fan, and I say that as a Wizards fan. This is a great trade for the Portland Trail Blazers. Now, for the real meat of the video. Why did the Washington Wizards trade Deni Avdija? And the reason is, I have no idea. Now, I do think they had reasons in mind for trading Deni Avdija. Obviously, they had reasons in mind. They aren't going to trade him for nothing. But I don't think any of those reasons measure up to why Deni should get traded. So I'll go through those and you can kind of make your own determinations. But I, just as a setting off point, I don't think any of these reasons warranted trading Deni Avdija. In my mind, the main reason this deal was swung was to get up in the draft to pick Bub Carrington at 14. Now, here's my issue with that. I have no problem going up to get a guy. I love Bub. I've watched a ton of Bub film. I talked about him in my previous video. Bub is one of my guys that I think I liked on the Wizards, and we got him on the Wizards. But my thing was, why are we trading Deni Avdija, the 23-year-old entering year 5 young wing, when we could have traded Kyle Kuzma? Earlier today, it was rumored that the Kings and the Wizards were having exploratory conversations about the 13th pick for Kyle Kuzma. We drafted Bub Carrington at 14. If you make the Kuz trade for 13, then you can still get Bub at 13. So it wasn't reliant on, oh, Deni was the only way. It wasn't. You could have traded Kyle Kuzma, who is a player you should be getting off anyways, not your 23-year-old wing. The next strongest reason I could imagine would be the 2029 pick. It's incredibly hard to project all the way out there in 2029. That's 5 years away. And I really don't think the front office, they might think of an idea like, okay, we might have a chance. Maybe the Celtics, maybe the Bucks are kind of on the downward spiral. Maybe we could get a high pick there. I could understand that line of thinking, but you can't predicate a trade on that loose thinking, that loose idea that these teams might not be good in 5 years. Because who knows? What if Giannis, is just the man of indestructibility, and he goes another 10 years LeBron-esque? What if the Celtics are just this next dynasty and they never break up? Then you traded Deni Avdija, who could go and become something even better in Portland, for what, the 25th pick in 2029? I can't wrap my head around that line of thinking. The last thing I have in mind for why Deni might have got traded is just the general philosophy that the Wizards are in a rebuild and they know they're going to be in a rebuild for a long time. So the idea is to compile as much young talent as you can and go with this, because now we have some of the youngest players in the league. Bub Carrington's extremely young, Alex Starr is extremely young, Keyshawn George, who we drafted, is extremely young. So we have this new young core. So maybe the idea was, okay, Deni's a bit older, let's get him out of there and really reset with a fresh young core. But I still don't subscribe to that, because Deni Avdija is 23 years old. Deni Avdija is not old. He could be a part of the young core, so I can't wrap my head around doing it for that reason. Another thing I do want to point out is Deni Avdija is not this front office's guy. If you remember, this front office was implemented last year. Deni Avdija was drafted in 2020. So this front office was not the one that brought in Deni Avdija. So I definitely think there could be a line of reasoning where it's like, this front office doesn't feel the loyalty to Deni that the other one did, because they didn't draft the guy. So they might have felt more, you know, it's not as hard to not trade you when they don't have that connection to you. And that's really all I got. I mean, as a Wizards fan who wants to believe in this front office so bad, I'm ready to cope and try as hard as I can to believe in this front office. I can't wrap my head around a good reason to make this trade. With that said, I do think there are some silver linings in here. I do think that is a bit true with, I said, the youth movement. I think Keyshawn George is going to get more minutes that he probably wouldn't got if Deni was there. Bilal Coulibaly is going to get some more minutes that he wasn't going to get normally. And just an overall distribution of minutes at the forward spot, at the wing spot, forward spot where Deni played. As well as that, we also got Malcolm Brogdon back. I don't know what Malcolm Brogdon is going to bring back in a trade, but maybe it's something. Maybe you could get a first round pick if you're really, really lucky, if a team overpays. So that's a bit of a silver lining, that you could get some value for that, and you open up just that young core. But as a general thought, man, this trade has deeply lessened my trust in this front office. So I just want to end this on giving some grades for this trade. For the Blazers, I said it earlier, they didn't give up a lot and they got a lot back. I have to give them an A for this trade. They genuinely killed it. They got one of the premier role players in the league for not a whole lot. And maybe I'm being biased. I watched Deni, since he was drafted, so maybe I'm biased towards his skill set, but I think he's perfect for the Blazers and he's going to shine there. And as for the Wizards, I can't give us anything more than a D. This is a D trade for the Washington Wizards. Maybe a C-. If you're a Wizards fan, all you can do now is just close your eyes and hope this next wave of young guys are good enough to where it doesn't matter if Deni's hooping over there, because we have Alex Starr, we have Bub Carrington, who are killing it over here. So yeah, that's basically where I'm at with the trade there. Let me know in the comments. I really want to know how the fan base is reacting, what you guys think, what you guys don't think. So feel free, if you completely disagree, feel free to tell me. I want to gauge the fan base a little bit, because if you're like me, you've watched Deni since he was 2020, couldn't make a left-handed layup. Now he's dropping 43 against the Pelicans. So this is a massive trade in Wizards lore, Wizards history. So let me know in the comments. But yeah, that's all I got on that trade. Stay tuned to the channel though. I do have some videos coming where I talk about more in depth of Alex Sarr, of Bub Carrington, of Keyshawn George, and their roles as young guys on this team. So I got some new stuff coming. Be sure to like and subscribe, all that good stuff. We got a lot of stuff coming out. This offseason is going to get even crazier than it's already been. So just make sure to like and subscribe. I'm Tyler, aka Wanzo TV. I'll see you in the next video.